Welcome for a new episode of Serial. So Serial this month is going to be separated in two, like I did for Matinum last month, in order to make the videos shorter, maybe a little bit more entertaining. So let's start immediately with photos I've taken last month or edited last month. And this month is going to be a lot of cameras and lenses that I've tested, because that was I was trying to restart the playlist, the VonCam playlist, because I had some popular demand for new gear, new tests. And I was testing basically the MS Optics Perar 21mm f4.5 with the Leica M240, which is kind of a now old full frame Leica camera. This review actually came out a few weeks ago, so go and check it. So yeah, details from Reykjavik. That's one of the things I like to do when I practice, is to practice my, what I call photographic muscle. Here again, two pictures with the same equipment. I try to really practice the lenses and the cameras I use, more than for the test. Actually, the test come out of my practice. Even so, those photos might not be in my work. I think when I want to travel or when I go around and do some street photography, I want to be trained to go fast and not spend all my time taking pictures. For me, the real life experience is above the photographic experience most of the times. So here are two details of Reykjavik, of different neighborhoods. Here was obviously testing the qualities of the lens. Again, two pictures with the same equipment, but it's a pretext to understand maybe better a new lens, like in that case this weird 21mm, but also to try new things. Here, working with textures, see what comes out. It's like I guess a painter with paintbrushes and paints. You have to practice a little bit to see what you can do with it. Maybe some geniuses can go directly to the incredible work, but that's my process usually. And yeah, and doing those tests actually forces me to use the equipment in different conditions and sometimes discover new stuff. So here I kind of like low light photography, night photography, and with a lens like this, which is not that open, it was the occasion to see how it renders. And maybe like with this Leica M240, which has a sensor that's starting to be old, enjoy then editing the grain, the characteristics of the low light parts of the sensor. Even in modern sensors, when you push them or you force push them, basically you underexpose them or overexpose them, you will get the characteristics of the electronics underneath. So I find that interesting. It's part of my work, so I kind of liked it. And here are two details. Again, still same equipment here. As I said, I used a lot of my gear to restart this playlist about equipment. So here it's going to the Vestmannaeyjar Islands, south of Reykjavik, southwest of Reykjavik. And also sometimes, here I didn't take that many pictures during that trip. It was a weekend trip there. I often use it to memorize and transmit, to share the moments. Even so they're not strongly photogenic, like here, they're kind of dull. I think it's an interesting approach to photography. I take sometimes a few pictures, see how it goes. Here again on the left, well, actually both same equipment. On the left, actually, you have small puffins on a hill on the Vestmannaeyjar, one of the Vestmannaeyjar Island, the one where the main eruption happened. Obviously, it's not great with a 21mm to have details of those puffins, but they're pretty funny. And on the right, that's on the coast, on the mainland. Can we say mainland for an island? I don't know. But on the main island of Iceland, on the roads south, coming back from, I believe, the Vestmannaeyjar Islands. Again, same equipment. If you go there, fantastic museum about the eruption. They really had a great museography. Inside the museum, the image on the left is one of those buildings that has been overrun, let's say, by those granular volcanic ashes, stones, sand, I don't know how to name it. And on the right, that's inside the museum, they actually unearthed one of those houses that had been covered in 1973. And it's as is. Super interesting museum. Lots of things to see in it, and also this building, and a very good way of understanding the power of the Earth in those volcanic regions and the social implications. A really cool museum. I would highly recommend going there. Again, 2 pictures, same equipment. Yeah, it's an occasion to try new things, having some gear that you don't know, or just capture moments that you like. Kind of found those 2 images fun, even if they don't integrate in your work. My work actually works sometimes with archives, so I might get those pictures out for something, for some storytelling. Never know. Going to something else, film that's with one of my favorite cameras, the 1984 Canon MC. It's an autofocus point and shoot. And that's with film that's named Extra Film. Basically, it's brandless, I believe. Looking from what comes out, it's expired probably around 2005. I don't have a date on it, but that's what I imagine from the batch of films I got at the same time. I would imagine it's some kind of Fujifilm. Looking at the colors coming out, maybe if you have an idea, don't hesitate to post it in the comments. These are shots of nature around Reykjavik, Iceland, obviously. Same equipment here, autofocus with this camera. So basically, you have to know a little bit where the camera focuses. It tends to be central, not much waiting out in the peripheral zone, but it's kind of reliable. So yeah, I like the pictures that come out of this camera. The lens is interesting too. I did a review a long time ago about this camera. Go check it out if you're interested. Here we're going to 2 pictures from, it's again film. I'm still doing this review of the Pentax 17, this new camera, film camera, half frame. And that was an expired film from 2005, March, Kodak Color 100, I believe. And I was testing the flash on this camera. There's plenty of reviews of the Pentax 17. As soon as it came out, people were showing what it was able to do. I kind of like using cameras more for a longer time, and I thought it would be more interesting to use many films and give my opinion on this camera after. Here again, that's a picture taken same equipment on my way from the Faroe Islands to East Iceland. Views of the sea with this pretty good lens on this half frame camera. Here again, arriving in Iceland with same equipment. You can see this really strong grain from this expired film. But I do like that. One problem you can have with expired film is if you want to reuse it for other projects and you don't have any more of that batch, well, you're out of luck, because it's hard to know what's going to come out of them because you don't know how they've been conserved, either in the fridge or outside. And here I had the luck to buy a pretty big batch of the same films I can use. I'll probably make a video about this batch of Kodak Color expired film. So basically 19-year-old preserved at room temperature. I think it might be interesting. I'll talk more about that in the future. And here, 2 last pictures, same equipment. On the left, that's my glasses on the ferry on the way to Iceland. Actually, it was a trip from Denmark to the Faroe Island to Iceland. And on the right, that's the mountains of East Iceland when you arrive. Pretty cool arrival. Anyhow, first part of serial. In 2 weeks, the second part, in order to make it less boring and less long. So hopefully this new format is more enjoyable. Don't hesitate to post suggestions, comments, whatever. And catch you next time.